Hey everybody, welcome back to Reading Rocket by Auto Witch. It's been a long time after I went to a trip to Dubai. It was my birthday. So this book which I'm gonna review is from my birthday. One of my friends gifted me a whole set of 21 books. So this is the first one. Enid Blyton, the famous five on a treasure island. First one. This is the first one. Now I'll show you the whole set. What starts from 2 now because I am reading the first one. Look like this. All the set. Isn't it amazing? I guess it is. So now this story is about George, Dick, Julian, Annie, and the dog Tim. And the others are Mom, Dad, Aunt Fanny, and Uncle Quentin. So, Mom, Dad, Julian, Dick, and Annie were planning where to go. So they set Paul's Heath as every time they go to a place called Paul's Heath. So this time the parents were going to Scotland and leaving their kids alone because they are quite independent to stay alone in some resort. But Paul's Heath was full, which they go mostly every year and they know where to go. And it had amazing beaches and all the rocky islands, whatever then. So we were planning, what about Uncle Quentin? I met his wife in the mall some time ago. So should I ring him? Yes. And you could. We don't know who's Georgina because father said Georgina because Georgina is a cousin which they don't know. So then Dick said it will be amazing to live for some time with a cousin we don't know. It will be first meet. It's a little shy for then they come to this building. And then this whole set is only about them only. You can see the pictures on the top, I guess. Yeah, so I think it's about. Look there. This is this. Look, Julia and Annie and all of them. Yeah. Good. So what? Then they left after some days because Aunt Fanny said, of course they can live with Georgina. So they started their journey to Kirin Bay, where Georgina, Aunt Fanny, and Uncle Quentin lived. By going, they stopped at a picnic to have lunch, then they went to a cafe, then finally reached Kirin Cottage, which they lived. So then Georgina was not there, and the next day, Mama and Dad had to leave because they stayed at a hotel and because there was no space for them in Kirin Cottage because it's a small cottage. So they left. Mom said that give a lot of love to Georgina. I wish I had met her. Okay, it's fine. Okay. So let's go. Then it's nighttime. George was not even there. I have not explained the George thing, but I will come to the George thing after some time. So Annie, Julian, and Dick sleeping on their beds. Annie is in Georgina's room. Dick and Julian are in the other room. So they're sleeping. Me. It's morning. Annie recognized someone in a blanket next to her. Then she asked, "Are you Georgina?" Then Then Georgina just put her head like this. I would only answer if you call me George. Cause Georgina doesn't like to be a girl and wear all those dresses like Annie does. So she calls herself George. As Aunt Annie also said before, which I have not mentioned, that she'll only answer if you call her George. Okay, George. Why do you name yourself George? That's a thing. But then the whole family met each other, and the next day was a picnic, which Annie didn't want to go because she can't take her dog Tim, which I mentioned when I showed you the character. So let me just show you again. It's his favorite thing. So then, the next day, after some days, they said that the Kitten Island is mine. Dick said it can't at all be yours. Of course it can't be hers, but then she explained. So, let me explain to you, she said. One time, some time ago, my mother mostly owned the whole Karen Bay, and my mother and my mother's family owned the whole Karen Bay. So they got poor, so they sold mostly everything, and the island was worth nothing, so they kept it. So Aunt Fanny gave it to me. Okay. I can't believe you, Dick said, because Aunt Fanny said that she doesn't lie. Okay, so you don't lie. And after some time, they found a box in the island's castle and then showed it to Dad. Dad gave it to a antique seller, like the pawn shop. So then they were all sad. Mostly George, because she's crying that it was mine, why did you? Then Dad said that the George is box, which they found, which is not basically George, but okay, George. The antique seller is asking if he can take it forever, like the whole castle and the island. George said not at all. And then the next day when they went to the island, some men were there. They got hurt on his cheek by the men. It was bleeding. And then Tim was very helpful in that. He passed letters because Dick and Annie were somewhere else and George and Julian were somewhere else. Dick was traveling. After that, they went home. After all that incident which happened, they went home. Aunt Fanny said, "What happened?" Kids explained whatever happened and said, "Oh my God, it was a lovely adventure. It's time to sleep. I wish we can go to another adventure together." Then at the last word of this 2 words, that will be in another story. So that will be in the second story, which I'm going to review after some time. So bye bye.